Sorry about that. Force of habit. Force of habit. I was just playing Rev Mel's intro instead of my own. So I may play my own again just to double reinforce where we are in my head. Okay. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. That's where we are. Happy June 23rd. It's my birthday eve, the day before my birthday. So happy birthday eve to me, June 23rd. And shout out to Marco Nobles, Rev Mel's husband. It's his birthday. Shout out to Bill, too, in Black Men Run. It's his birthday also. Shout out to all the June 23rd birthdays. Shout out to everybody. Everybody. June 23rd. Happy birthday. Okay. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It is a reciprocal action. Try it. You might like it. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative, which means I do a lot of different things. I'm an author. I'm a journalist. I'm a speaker and other things also. I'm also the creator of the Hero Ministry Movement, which is my effort to uplift and inspire people in general, but the unhoused community in specific. So join me here Monday through Friday at 8:45 a.m. Central Time to hear me talk about me becoming my own hero. And shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this platform to talk about that journey. Check them out at N as in Nancy, T as in Thomas, media.org, ntmedia.org. You can check out all the other programming on the network and also make a donation. It is a 501c3 nonprofit. All that said, quick disclaimer, I am not a personal trainer, nor am I a financial advisor. So do your own due diligence. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Inform yourself. All right, so that's where we are. And I am going to find myself some fireworks early on because not only is it birthday eve, it's also triple anniversary month. This is my personal anniversary. This is my birthday month. Also, it's the anniversary of the charity run, which I didn't even know would become a thing that would last the whole year because it was only supposed to last 30 days. So it is the anniversary of my charity run. It is also the anniversary of this show, the Be Your Own Hero Show. I had no idea that this show would last as long as it has either. So fireworks for all of that. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's get into some Hero Ministry Movement news. Shout out to Tim. Good morning, heroes. The birthday behavior is upon you. Yes, birthday behavior is going down very soon. By the way, I might take tomorrow off for my birthday. I haven't decided yet. But if I do, there will be a show airing here in this space, a pre-recorded show that's pretty fun. So I'll decide later. But anyway, stay tuned. All right, moving on. So Hero Ministry Movement news. Today is day 388. That means let me just play the run report. Let me not do the run report twice. So here's the run report for today. And then we'll take it from there. So today's run report. Hero Charity Run Day 388. I've been running every day, at least a mile a day, every consecutive day for now 388 days in a row. And we are on mission. Please go to the link in my bio, Hero Charity Run, to make a donation to my birthday fundraiser for Back on My Feet nonprofit. Let's go. So it's birthday eve, the day before my birthday. And what do I have to say? What's been very fun and fascinating is watching all of the social media flashbacks from this time last year. Like all of this is what you were doing a year ago today. All those photos and videos have been fascinating because if you've been following this, you know that last year, June 1st is when I started this charity run. And to see the difference between then and now, to see how far I've come, to be reminded of all the hardships I had to push through has been fascinating. It's fascinating. The other day, I got a flashback to me running my longest route ever, and it was 4.5 miles. And that same day, this year, the same day that I saw that post, I had just run 10. Wow. Hero Charity Run Day 388. I've been running every day. Okay, you see me off. So I figured out how to set the app so that it cuts me off at the maximum amount of time. So that's it. That's where it cut me off. But the rest of the sentence was essentially what you heard. A year ago to the day, I was celebrating the fact that I had finally run my longest run, and it was 4.5 miles, and I was celebrating. And then exactly a year later, that same day, I ran 10 miles. Like, it wasn't nothing. I ran 10 miles before the show, and it wasn't nothing. So just a testament to persistence, just a testament to doing, a testament to now is better than perfect. I could have waited in the beginning. I could have waited to do a bunch of things. I could have waited to learn more about running, to get some run clothes. You should have seen what I was running in the beginning. You should have seen what I was running in. I could have waited to get some proper run clothes, some proper running shoes. Because now that I know that the shoes that I was running in were not adequate. So anyway, I could have waited to do all those things, but I didn't. I just pulled the trigger and I started doing, and that doing yielded results. So what's my acronym for PACE? Persistence always creates excellence. Persistence always creates excellence. And by the way, I was sharing this with Rev Mel earlier. That first day that I showed up for Black Men Run, someone asked me what my pace was. And I had no idea. Like, I understood that he was asking me how fast I was, but I was like, I don't know my pace. But look how full circle that's come, right? Like, my pace has not only quickened over time, over the year, but my understanding of pace is different. And now I even have my own acronym that is tantamount to the journey. Persistence always creates excellence. My persistence over that year plus created the excellence that I have now, enabled me to go from celebrating 4.5 miles as a milestone to running 10 miles like it ain't nothing. So, pace, persistence always creates excellence. All right, so that was a bit of a sidebar, but that was a good one. That was a good sidebar. All right, so shout out to Shalini again. I've mentioned her before, and she gave me permission to use her name. But shout out to Shalini. This is her day 20. Day 20. She's been walking every day after she met me in Idaho. And she's been very persistent and consistent in doing the work. And I'm very proud of her, very excited for her. Day 20. Let's go. Next milestone is day 30, Shalini. You got this. Okay, so moving on. What else do we have to talk about? Maybe that's it. If you haven't checked out my interview with Antoine's wife, Yolanda, please check that out. It's a very good interview. And what am I talking about? Of course, that's not it. Here's the link, herocharityrun.com. So this is birthday eve. Not only is it almost my birthday, but it's almost the end of the month. So my birthday request is for people to share this link. Share this link. The link will take you to the news story about me. And then also on that same page, you can donate, make a donation of any amount. I love these donations that have the derivative of 365 in them. That's fun for me. But you can donate any amount. Any amount will be great because it creates momentum. And sharing it is also great because it creates momentum. So please share, please donate. We are in the final stretch of the month, and also it's almost my birthday. So please, please, please share the link, herocharityrun.com. By the way, I might have to add a word. This is yet another sidebar, but I might have to add a word because, as I mentioned, there is a Hero Charity Run already where they're running in costumes. So I might have to add a word to this to make it even more separate. But let's not worry about that right now. But now let's just go to the link, share, donate. Okay? Let's do this. All right, moving on. All right, Dice Roll Challenge. Dice Roll Challenge. Dice Roll Challenge. So it's been an easy week. Monday was $1. Tuesday was $2. Wednesday was $1 again. And here we go for Thursday. It's been a very easy week. No one's got an excuse for not moving those small amounts of money, including me. Oh, that's fun. So Thursday is $4. I wish yesterday had been $3. Then we'd have like a streak going. But anyway, today's number is $4. Take $4 out of circulation and set it aside to be invested because The number one excuse people give for not investing is that they don't have money to invest. This will give you the money to invest. So do the work, even when the amounts are small. Let me rephrase that, especially when the amounts are small. Because I know some of you might be feeling like, well, it's only $3, it's only $1, it's only $2. Trust me, it adds up. But more important, it is building the muscle of discipline regarding money, discipline regarding paying yourself first, discipline regarding setting money aside to invest. So do it anyway. $4 today. All right. Morning, man. I see you checking in. Okay, so let's move on to the morning Zen. I realized why I had extra time yesterday. I skipped a section. So let me change the order. Let's do the abundance affirmation and reminder, and then I'll do the morning Zen, because that'll lead me into talking about abundance. Okay, so affirmation. Affirmation, let's get to it. We're memorizing this affirmation so that we can use it whenever we feel pinched in some financial way. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. Ashe, get it in your bones, make sure you feel it, make sure the feeling tone is bright and cheerful. That said, here's my reminder. If you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. If you want to change your financial circumstances, you must invest. That's the way the game is set up. You must invest. Okay, so that said, now let's do the morning Zen. So, as you know, if you've been watching the show, I've been reading finance books in the morning as part of my morning practice. I don't know how that happened, but it's persistent. So today was a little bit different. It's kind of a triple hit. First of all, I don't know if I've said this out loud in a clear way, but generally when I run, I listen to finance information. My think there is the financial information just seeps into my subconscious while I do something else, while I'm distracted by running. And I'm not like sitting at a desk trying to learn it, so it doesn't feel as daunting. I'm just listening to it while I run and just kind of exposing myself to new ideas around money every day. And what I find is, this is why I pause, what I find is I often listen to the same things over and over again. And it's just like reading a book over and over again. You read a book the second time, something else pops out at you that you missed the first time. It's like that. Like different things pop out. So anyway, here's my point. Today I did a triple hit. This morning I read a personal development book about money, and then I read a financial book, and then I went running listening to a financial podcast. And so what I'm going to say is an amalgamation of all those three things. Okay. Just making sure I'm all set to move forward. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so here is this book. You've heard me mention it before, How to Solve All Your Money Problems Forever. I love that title. The title just feels good to say out loud, right? Say that with me. How to Solve All Your Money Problems Forever. That feels good. Anyway, I was reading from this book today. And let me read from here, and then I'll tell you about where that took me. Okay, wait, I lost my place. Hold on, stand by. Okay, nope, that's not it. Where did it go? Sorry, folks, I had it all queued up, and then I moved it. Oh no, no. It's usually, and now the app is acting up. Okay, so I'm gonna freestyle. So the second thing I read, not from this book, but from Bear Market Investing Strategies. Again, the title is Bear Market Investing Strategies. This is what it says. The long-term view is what matters above all else when it comes to investing. The long-term view is what matters above all else when it comes to investing. The long-term view. And the reason I was so excited, and I really wish I could find this right now, is because this book, that sentence correlates to what I read in this personal development book. I'm gonna try again. All right. Oh, I found it. Okay, I found it. So listen to this. All right. No one experiences continual, uninterrupted progress in any aspect of life. I'm going to read that again. No one experiences continual, uninterrupted progress in any aspect of life. The road to success is littered with setbacks. Progress always occurs in stages with periods of difficulty mixed in. Accept mishaps as part of the overall flow. Accept mishaps as part of the overall flow. Now, again, this is from a personal development book about finance, as compared to this book about the bear market, which is kind of head-on finance. But they're saying the same thing. So let me just read that last part. Accept mishaps as a part of the overall flow. Actually, let me read this part again. No one experiences continual, uninterrupted progress in any aspect of life. And the bear market book, the long-term view is what matters above all else when it comes to investing. So the reason that's the same, in case it's not apparent, is that in life, as in investing, there are lots of dips, lots of ebbs and flows. I heard someone in that podcast I was listening to today describe it as climbing a mountain with a yo-yo. That imagery doesn't even make sense to me, but I get it viscerally. Climbing a mountain with a yo-yo. My metaphor is more like what we expect to happen when we get into investing is we expect to find the right elevator, and that elevator will take us right up to the penthouse to abundance. And that's not the way it works. What I'm finding and what is being reinforced by both of these books and the podcast and all these other sources is the way it works is you get in the elevator and the elevator is going to go up and down and up and down and up and down. And sometimes it's going to look like it's going to crash into the floor, right? But over the course of, let's call it 5 years, let's call it a 5-year elevator. Over the course of 5 years, it's going to work its way up and up. It's going to be jagged, but every time it ends up higher than it ended up last time. It's going to be jagged. And so 5 years later, it'll be up at the penthouse. And it'll keep going up. But it won't be a straight shot. It won't be a smooth, easy ride from the basement, from the parking garage to the penthouse. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be scary. It's going to go up and down. It's going to zigzag in a sense. It's going to go up and down. But every time you check it after 5 years, it'll be higher than when you got in. It'll be higher than the parking level, right? It's not going to come all the way down to the parking level. It's going to come close sometimes if there's a recession or deep bear market, but it's going to keep ascending if you can just stop focusing on these little small movements and just focus on the big movement. It will seem as if your elevator went straight up to the penthouse, but that's a long-term view. You have to focus on it as a long-term view. And you heard me just use the number 5 years. I'm adopting that number for me as my way to think about long-term investing. It's a 5-year clock. That's how I'm thinking about it. You invest in a vetted asset, and then you set the clock for 5 years. If you take your money out, then when you put your money back in, you got to start the clock at 5 years all over again. So don't take your money out. Just set that money aside, invest it in something vetted, and set the clock for 5 years. Don't worry about all these dips and divides in the meantime. There's going to be dips. There's going to be divides. There's going to be panic. Which brings me to the podcast. Okay, so let me see if I can show you the podcast. Here we go. This is the podcast I found. It's called The Money Guy. The Money Guy Show. You can't really see that. All right, it's called The Money Guy Show. I never heard of it. I literally went to a podcasting app on my phone and I just typed in the word recession. And lots of single episodes came up. I just chose this one randomly. No rhyme or reason to it. But it's really good. It's about an hour long and the information is really good because they like doing graphs and charts and charting exact information. So I'm going to share something with you that they shared with me or shared with the world. So they did this really interesting exercise where they took a financial headline. There's a better way to say that. They took a headline from a financial news source that was alarmist, and then they looked at the math around the stock market at the time. So this is very important because I don't want to get up on my soapbox, but I've said this before. I come from a background of journalism. I've taken many journalism courses, programs, scholarships. I've been deeply embedded in journalism at all the levels, print, TV, magazine, you name it, I've been in the room. And I can tell you unequivocally that the journalism industry as a whole is beholden to the advertisers, not the consumers, the advertisers. The advertisers dictate the content, for sure. That is not hyperbole, for sure. I've seen things that I've written be completely rewritten because the advertiser said so. So that said, you must take everything from any news source that has advertising, you must take everything with a grain of salt. Even if it's a quote unquote reputable source, they still have advertisers. You want to get your news from nonprofit sources, from PhDs who have been in the field forever. You can find better sources for actual information. But if you're watching the news and it's advertising, I guarantee you the content is influenced by the advertising. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Now, this is what they said in the episode. So this is a headline from the Financial Times, which is a reputable financial newspaper. That's why I gave that soapbox disclaimer. So here's the headline. Risk of double dip recession is rising. Risk of double dip recession is rising. Is that not scary? That's scary. So it sounds like there's already been a dip. And now they're predicting a second dip. And it's coming from a quote unquote reputable source like the Financial Times. So that's going to invoke fear in you, right? That's what's going to happen because I guess here's the other part of my soapbox. I probably should have finished. The other part of my soapbox is because we, the media, are beholden to the advertisers, the metric we care about is eyes. How many eyes do we have? How big is the audience? Because that's what the advertiser cares about. And it is true, it is factually true that if it bleeds, it leads. In other words, if you lead with something that generates fear or sadness or any negative emotions, it will attract more attention. They've done the research, it works. So unfortunately, the media in all the different categories, including the financial media, will use fear to attract attention. That drives up eyeballs, which they use to monetize themselves for the advertisers. That's the system. That's just how it works. So, risk of double dip recession. Oh, there's my alarm. Risk of double dip recession is rising is the headline from the Financial Times. And this was right after the Great Recession. That was 2008. That's what they called it, the Great Recession. Okay, so what they did on the podcast is they looked at the S&P 500 for the next 3 years after that headline, right? So the headline implies that another recession is coming. After this big recession we just survived, there's another one coming and it's going to get worse. They looked at the S&P 500 for the next 3 years. What did the S&P 500 do for the next 3 years? It went up 37%. 37%. Now that number is significant, not only because it's a nice juicy number, but also because we've been talking about the Fed this week and how the Fed they have an acceptable margin of 2 to 6% in terms of inflation. The Fed's acceptable margin for inflation is 2 to 6%. So if you've got a 37% return on investment and the inflation is at 6%, you're still up 31%, right? Because you're making so much in the stock market, in the S&P, that you've negated the negativity of inflation. That said, many of us have our money in checkings and savings where that money is still being affected by inflation. It's not earning interest at a rate of return that's higher than inflation. So if this doesn't scare you enough to move some money from where it is now, checking and savings, over into a place where it's generating significant return on investment, I don't know what will. Right? You've got to be earning in the 10% range, really just to maintain the value of your money. So the S&P 500, tried and true. Why? Because it's literally 500 multi-billion-dollar companies. It's hard to go wrong with that. Instant diversification. It pays a dividend. You can reinvest the dividend so it grows bigger over time. And essentially, it corrects itself. So in that recession that they talked about, the 2008, oh, wait a minute, I didn't look at that one. I personally looked at the recession of the pandemic. I looked at the S&P during that time. And the S&P dropped a couple percentage points. And then it came back within, I want to say 2 to 3 months. It came back to where it was and surpassed it. And again, it's not a straight line. It's a jagged line. The line goes like this. And that elevator is going up and down. But within 2 to 3 months, it came back to the previous floor it was on in terms of the elevator metaphor, and then exceeded it and went to higher floors. So it's just a matter of getting in and staying in long term. Once again, I am thinking of long-term investing as a 5-year minimum. 5 years before you start thinking about any kind of panic. Okay? All right, so that's where we are. We're talking about how investing is a long-term play. The time horizon, as defined by me, my personal time horizon is 5 years. And that if you put your money in vetted assets like S&P 500, they will correct themselves over time. And even though there will be dips, they'll end up higher than they were when you got into them. That's what I say about it. Okay, that's what I'm doing for me. I hope you're doing something similar for you. And make sure you research this and do your own due diligence. Okay, so that said, it's time for prayer time at 10:15, and then it's time for Sit with Rev Melissa at 10:30. Those are both Eastern time. And I will maybe see you here tomorrow. If I'm not here tomorrow live, you will definitely see a recording, a fun one that I recorded a while ago. So stay tuned, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Happy early birthday to me, and please share and like this link. All right, folks, later. Maybe. There we go.